Hey, what's happening, DC fans? Kwing here, and you probably want to know my reaction to Shazam and Aquaman, right? Well, I would love to show you, but Warner Brothers TV has other plans. Hugs and kisses to you too, Warner Brothers. Thanks so much for claiming that. But rather than leave you guys in the lurch, we're going to do this the old-fashioned 2008 YouTube way. Still images and my voice. Anyway, I'm going to have to split these videos up because they both deserve their own video and my thoughts. Also, key reminder, if you want to see video reviews of DC films and cartoons, join my Patreon for just $1.99 a month, which will unlock any videos that I post. Thanks as always for the support, guys and gals. Okay, plug is done. Let's dive into the seven seas with Aquaman's first trailer. Although, San Diego Comic-Con got a second trailer where they actually got to see Aquaman in his classic costume and with his trident and all kinds of other stuff, so I'm kind of jealous that I didn't get to go to Comic-Con this year. I was invited, I just couldn't afford it. But anyway, first off, the tone of this film is very different than the previous Snyderverse. Almost like it's another alternate reality where these characters exist. I mean, it's the same characters and actors, but it just has a different feel to it. You can just sense that. It's almost like a soft reboot in a way. I'm not sure if the film takes place after Justice League, but what we know happened previously is Aquaman helped stop Steppenwolf, you know, the big invasion. And supposedly, originally, what I remember reading is that Orm, Aquaman's half-brother, wants to wipe out the surface world because he is sick of all the stuff that's been happening because of the surface world, and he blames the Steppenwolf invasion for that. Like I said, I don't know if that is the same setting now that Zack Snyder is gone, what they're doing with the Aquaman film, but I would like to think that they're going to keep that type of continuity, but I don't know. So all we need to understand is that Orm doesn't like mankind, and he's sick and tired of what's happening with the oceans and his people and the sea creatures all over the world. Mira then goes to Arthur, which we see in the trailer, and from what we've gathered, what Arthur is thinking, he doesn't want to return to Atlantis because he doesn't want to go. It's bad there. He's not welcome there. His brother hates him, and the people hate him because he's a half-breed or whatever. But she's pushing him to go because he has to go. There's a reason why he must rule. He's the perfect king, even though he doesn't believe he is. So there's a lot going on in the trailer. I actually had to watch it a couple times just so I could piece together a little bit of thoughts. It kind of reminded me of the Justice League trailer where they're like shooting off a lot of scenes and all this action is happening, but not a lot of storytelling, which is completely different than the Shazam trailer, where you can kind of get an idea of what the story is from the first trailer or the teaser, whatever you want to call it. So people are like, yeah, I can get into this. With Aquaman, you're just like, this looks cool, but I have no idea what's going on. So what I've pieced together, in the trailer, Aquaman challenges his brother to mortal combat to earn the right to rule Atlantis. See, you know, half-human versus Atlantean full brother thing. So, as you know, probably from Aquaman lore, Arthur is half-human, half-Atlantean. His mother was the Queen of Atlantis who fell in love with a surface man who owned a lighthouse, more or less. And part of this film will deal with Aquaman's origin, which is a little bit different. A lot of people wanted Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg to all get their own standalone movies first, instead of just introducing these characters that a lot of people aren't really familiar with, other than, you know, joking around about, hey, Aquaman, he talks to fish. But he's actually a pretty cool character, so people need to give him more credibility. So anyway, Nicole Kidman, former Batman girlfriend from Batman Forever, returns to the DC Universe as the Queen of Atlantis. I don't mind the flashbacks in this film as long as it's not half the movie, since we already met Aquaman and know what he's about, you know? And I love that we're seeing more of his super strength in this trailer, too. Arthur is a powerhouse character that wasn't really used properly until his one-handed adventures in the 1990s. You know, Hook Aquaman, who was still, like, hardcore awesome. Still, to see him lift, like, this sub off the ocean floor and toss the thing like it's a log was pretty epic. The bad guys in this film, I'm not gonna lie, they look pretty awesome, but my favorite is definitely Black Manta. Not only is his suit the most comic accurate we've seen on the silver screen to date, usually when companies make a character from the comics and try to give him a costume, it just doesn't translate well from what you see hand-drawn to what you see somebody wearing. There's been some good attempts with Iron Man and Batman over the years, but it's never been 100% authentic. This is Black Manta from the pages of the comics to the silver screen, and that is an incredible accomplishment. So in the movie, we will probably see the birth of the villain and why he hates Aquaman. I believe it's because Aquaman killed his father, but I don't know if they're going to somehow get into that or not. There's also going to be an awesome fight between the two characters that is going to be outrageous, and I'm excited. So Orm is the other bad guy, who again is Arthur's brother, the villain that people will be able to relate to. He's like a Greenpeace bad guy, except more threatening. Oh, I just came up with that. He is a villain that the audiences will be able to relate to. He's not just another CGI villain like Doomsday or Steppenwolf that people just don't care about. He actually has a goal that he wants to push forth, and that is the death and destruction of the surface world to protect the people of Atlantis. To put it in simple terms, pretty much he hates everyone with a different point of view than him and who lives their life differently than him. Kind of reminds me of how the Marvel pros on social media can't get along with the other side. It's their way or the highway. Do this or you're against us. See, it's a perfect modern example. Also, since he's the king, the Atlanteans have to listen to him and do whatever he says or face persecution or death. So it's up to Aquaman to dethrone his brother and restore peace to Atlantis and protect the surface world, which he's a little fond of, mostly the little place that he takes care of anyway, which we again see in the trailer because the two duke it out American Gladiator style, which I could dig it. Now, the only thing besides the pacing of the film that annoyed me a little bit in this trailer is Mira. Now, I have no problem with her as a character, her inclusion in the film, or being a woman, and I hate that I have to defend my point like this, but people are stupid. So, we saw in Justice League that her powers and her abilities just, like, kick so much butt. She went toe-to-toe with Steppenwolf and a bunch of, like, parademons, and she was awesome. But in Aquaman, something happened between the Snyder translation to the James translation, and her hair somehow just ended up, well, watch the trailer. Actually, she has the hair that Starfire should be rocking on the Warner Brothers app. Glowing neon pinkish red hair that looks brighter when she uses her powers. Sound familiar? I mean, it was painful to look at. Aside from that, I really have nothing else that really bothered me about the film. It looks really cool. It's an epic action movie in scale, and Aquaman will talk to fish, but his seahorse from the 60s has been retired for a Nessie-like dragon sea monster. And that right there was just like, oh, snap! But now I want to hear from all of you. What did you think of the Aquaman trailer number 1? Are you ready to climb aboard the DC ship again, or have you already bailed out? Let me know in the comments section below. And thanks again to my Patreon supporters for keeping this channel afloat. I know, water puns. I will see you guys later this week with my thoughts on the upcoming DC animated movies, like Batman Hush and Reign of the Superman and all kinds of stuff. Until we meet again, God bless and happy gaming. Thanks so much for the support. See ya!